Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Fallout 4. Well, last time, we defeated the Gunners, which is to say, we beat their army, though, yes, I can't help but notice that their leader, LaMont, she never actually made an appearance, so maybe we're not quite as done as I thought. Still, for the time being, alright. We've made it to Magnusson's house, so finally, we can meet up with this chappie. When I say meet up with this chappie, okay, we may not be able to do that because he might be like, you know, a computer, or a robo-brain, or a ghoul. It's very hard to say what Magnusson's going to be, actually. He's been a bit cagey on that topic. Right. Have a bit of a look-see round here. Let's see what we flipping got. And okay, you probably know by this point how I feel about big red buttons.
Way's blocked.
It looks like some kind of blast door. Fairly sturdy one by the looks of it.
So okay, naturally Magnusson's, secured himself away sufficiently that people aren't just gonna stumble across him.
Curious. All my readouts indicate the elevator is waiting for you. The blast doors are open. You will have to perform a local override, and for that, you'll need to access my home's computer network. Make your way to my old bathroom. There, you should find the system interface you'll require.
In your bathroom?
It's a long story. You'll need to provide a passcode. It's, Madison. Then, simply request the blast doors be opened. Off you go!
Okay. Madison. So right, the lad was pretty bloody sweet for old Madison back when he was alive. Gotcha. Still, for the time being, I'll mosey up to, yes, the top floor here. Crack open this guy's bathroom. And by the looks of it... Right. I need to, interact with a toilet that's been fitted out to be, you know, a big... comfy armchair type thing.
Wait. Oh, don't tell me.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Jake. Hiding something inside the toilet, that's kinda clever in a way, because no one's going to want to look too closely at an old pre-war toilet.
My purpose is to serve. Please submit your dictation, urine, and or excrement.
Okay. So, the lad's got, a toilet that speaks to him. Which suddenly gives me flashbacks to, you know, the sink in New Vegas. This kind of feels like, you know, the sort of thing that would be in the sink in Old World Blues. So, okay, you, sir, are a toilet, and you don't sound, like, thrilled about it.
Is something the matter? You sound upset.
Imagine, if you will, to be a continual spectator to humanity's least glamorous moments. It is a heavy weight upon my circuitry. Alas, one must persevere and carry out one's duties. Such is the plight of the Prince of Porcelain. So, how might I cater to your bathroom needs?
Okay, so luckily for you, Reginald, I'm not here for any bathroom stuff. Okay, that's not a thing even in survival mode. I'm just here to give you a passcode.
Madison.
Password accepted. Ah, hello, Dr. Magnusson. You appear to not be yourself today. Are you unwell?
Just shut up and open the blast door. We need to get into the lab.
Ah, the blast door. Guardian of secrets, barrier to progress, forever refusing passage to any and all foreign objects. Must be nice. The way has been opened, Dr. Magnusson. Simply press the entry button near the entrance. And, if I may suggest, an increase of fiber to your diet. More regular bowel movements may serve to improve your mood.
Okay, what a bloody weird thing to occur in the middle of, yes, this game's final mission, but fine, lovely to meet you there, Reginald. So, here we go, back to the big red button, but on this occasion, right, we can get down into the lab. Beautiful. Okay. So the research level is not looking great. Water is leaking in, plants are growing. That could potentially mean, you know, mole rats, rat roaches, etc., etc.
Oh, Great. Should have known we'd not seen the last of her.
Wait, what? Last of... Oh. Is that LaMont in there? Yep, that's LaMont. Sorry, Jake saw her before I did. Okay. But there's only like 3 of them. And 2 look pretty basic, so... Right, guys. I feel like we could deal with this. Like, at this point, yeah, we basically got, you know, even numbers. Okay, we are fine. Though, just to be sure, let's, you know, have a quick snack, etc., etc. Okay. LaMont. Let's have a nice chat, because you don't appear to be, you know, shooting me immediately.
I told you we'd meet again. Hello, Jacob. How's the child?
That's supposed to unnerve me? Using my name like that? Well, doesn't. She's fine, by the way. Appreciate your concern.
I've got a shot. Just say the word.
Okay. I feel like we could take them. Like, she's just got a basic pistol. We literally have even numbers. So, don't shoot just yet. I want to know what you're doing here, LaMont. Like, you know, aside from the whole Vault-Tec thing, what was your angle? Because you were sort of implying that there was, yeah, something more to it when we met down in, you know, the basement of the thingy, where we did the prisoner exchange.
Why are you here?
I'm here to teach the Wasteland a lesson it will never forget. I'm already aware of your conquest of Quincy, of all the heroics performed by those under your banner. I found it quite inspiring. But none of it really matters. Because all I have to do is kill you, leaving me free to seize the last Engramtape that lies beyond these doors, deliver it to our employer, and then I win.
Okay, so, number 1, your employer might have just suffocated on the moon. Number 2, even if not, their communications are very much gone. And 3, yeah, it's not just your army up top that's been dealt with. I've also nuked your home base round the corner. So, okay. Let's talk about this before anything else.
You don't have to do this.
I don't have to do anything. I want to do it. I want to see our employer set the Commonwealth ablaze. To see every insignificant waste of flesh that calls this place home incinerated. Every trace of their pathetic lives, their existence, wiped clean.
Okay, seriously, I want to know what the cock's going on, because you have got some issues.
Why are you doing this?
Oh, do you truly wish to know? It's quite simple, really. I find solace in the destruction I sow. What began as a child's miserable journey of dominance and conflict has become so much more. The Gunners, our employer, they offer me the chance to leave a mark upon the wastes. I will not go quietly into oblivion. My superiority will be acknowledged.
Okay, I feel like possibly she's just bananas and, yes, Vault-Tec, your employer, they're kinda dead actually. Did you know that?
You're working for Vault-Tec.
I'm well aware of our employer's identity. After all, it was from my vaults that West first made contact with them. With Vault-Tec. And while they are undoubtedly to blame for my wretched upbringing, for the torment I was forced to endure in my youth, without Vault-Tec, I would not exist. And so my hatred for them is somewhat tempered in comparison to what I feel toward the Commonwealth. So, understand, I do not work for Vault-Tec. My involvement with them is simply beneficial to my own goals. Providing I get what I want, I couldn't care less what happens to them.
Okay, hang on. Now we're starting to get somewhere. You grew up in a vault, and it wasn't a happy vault. Well, none of them are happy vaults, but this one, by the sounds of it, was particularly bad, though. Oh. Miserable childhood. you're one of the children of Vault 75, aren't you?
What's so bad about your past?
Like yourself, I came from a vault. But I didn't have the good fortune of a secure community, or the luxury of being suspended in time. No. My father was a syringe, and my mother, a sterile incubator. I was bred and reared to be the pinnacle of humanity. My first memory is of being told to recite an eye chart. Every day. Tests, conditioning, experimentation, competition. All of it so we'd be strong enough to one day save Up Top Land. The wasteland. But that was a lie. One of many. A few of us realized the truth and escaped. But the Commonwealth was no kinder. Brutality, persecution, exploitation. Until I was the only one left.
So we finally understand what's going on with you. The program that just ran for cycles and cycles of generations in Vault 75, training children to be highly effective weapons, which was already tied to the gunners, that's where you came from. Okay, but one last question, which is, what's the benefit of the Engramtape in a world where Vault-Tec's already now gone?
These tapes are the reason we were hired. They contain data critical to our employer's survival. They're also the key to purging the Commonwealth. Atomic rain. Need I say more?
Oh, right. Even without Vault-Tec, this would still give you access to the satellite, so... Okay, you know what? I've decided it's probably best you don't walk away from this. You're just going to go down now. Sorry about this, but you are very bananas.
I wish you'd listen to reason.
Reason? It's for those too feeble to take what they want. Observe.
Okay, so I feel like... Oh, hang on. Level 150, you say? I'm not too worried, to be honest. 2 shots will... Oh, dear. Oh, flipping dear. This cannot be a Major... Does anyone know who Major Isaac was? Right, you can go down in 1 hit. You can be critted just to make sure you die. And there we go. Last one goes down.
Well, that's LaMont finally dealt with. Let's go meet with Magnusson.
So, alright. Ooh. A suppressed deliverer. Well, lardy cocky dar and spec ops gear and everything. So, I mean, I'm going to be honest. You can't just put, like, a suppressor on the normal deliverer. In fact, doesn't it, like, have one by default? I mean, yeah, my deliverer's definitely got a suppressor. Right there. So, okay, not sure what the difference is there, to be honest.
Who'd have thought I'd end up working out of an unfinished vault? But in retrospect, 110 was exactly what I needed. Secure, isolated, and with its very own missile silo. It's a shame I couldn't have moved my lab and cryopod there. But since they didn't even begin construction of the lower levels, I'd have no protection in the event of local nuclear detonation. Not a risk I'm willing to take.
Okay, one more note here. 110, that was mentioned in 111. So, right, is that where we are right now? An unfinished vault that, yeah, just no one ever got round to fully building or whatnot.
Ah, there you are. If you wouldn't mind, please decontaminate yourselves before entering the lab. Just activate the console in the decon chamber.
Okay, properly decontaminating myself and whatnot, so sure, why not?
Welcome to my lab. Excuse the mess. Well, it's been difficult to keep on top of things. Make your way to the catwalk above. Proceed through the corridors, and I'll meet you just ahead.
Okay, and finally we get to figure out, yes, precisely, Magnusson, who or what you are these days.
Magnusson's private lab. I wonder what's down here.
Okay. And they say unfinished vault. Yeah, there we go. We're not so much in an unfinished vault as this was an area dug out to become a vault, but the vault itself hadn't really been installed yet. In fact, yeah, only way to actually make any progress is going to be going through the semi-built ruins of the vault up here. Including, hang about, some more flipping Magnusson bits and pieces.
There. That should keep the tape shielded during the launch sequence.
Hello, Magnusson. I see you've made yourself at home.
And I see you still have a spare set of keys to the place. Can't a man have a little privacy?
You know you're only supposed to be storing your belongings here. The lease paperwork makes that very clear. So, speaking as your landlady, care to explain all the structural changes and active equipment?
Oh, I didn't mean to cause trouble. Just a little redecorating is all. But I promise, from here on, I'll strive to be a better behaved tenant.
I'll believe it when I see it. Just be glad it's me who's been dealing with all of this.
Ha! So, what brings you to 110, Patty? A sentimental goodbye?
Oh, heaven forbid. No. I'm just here to let you know Vault-Tec has fulfilled the last part of our agreement. Both prototype Delta rockets will be shipped here within the month.
You actually acquired them? That wasn't part of my agreement with Vault-Tec, you know. You only needed to find where they were being stored.
Consider it a bonus for your hard work on 111. Besides, when I casually dropped your name, RepCon seemed more than happy to facilitate an arrangement. Although, you have your work cut out for you, Magnusson. The gears haven't been kind. Both rockets look as if they've been half stripped bare for parts.
Ha! That's no bother. I expected as much. I'll just call in a few favors with ArcJet. Maybe pay a visit to Provincetown. But tell me, you know my plans, but what are yours, Matty? Care to stow yourself away in a freezer with yours truly?
As tempting as that sounds, I have other arrangements.
Don't suppose these other arrangements would involve a certain vault in a certain Lone Star state?
You're not supposed to know about that.
Ah, well, I'll keep your secret if you keep mine. Goodbye, Matty. I'll miss you.
Goodbye, Carl.
Okay. So he uses 110 to launch himself off into space, where possibly he still is having frozen himself, so maybe he, like, you know, does exist, just in orbit. He's still alive, he's not a robot or anything. But Maddie went to the Lone Star State, which I'm like 99% sure that's Texas, right? And that's deeply worrying, because that's where Fallout Brotherhood of Steel takes place, and, oh Maddie, if you condemned yourself to being in a Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, I am so sorry. That's not a happy place to live. Right, keep on keeping on. Magnusson, my friend. Are you actually, like, you know, here? Or are you just broadcasting to me from space or something?
A lot of this lab's equipment was prototyping for Luna Colony's many intricate systems. Feel free to examine anything that catches your eye, but do try not to touch.
Look, but don't touch. I'll do my best.
Okay, by this point he knows I touch things, okay? I am very not good at not pushing big red buttons.
A setup! From the very beginning, the whole thing, a setup! They were never truly interested in ASAPs or undermining Robco. Means to an end, all of it! She played me. From the moment we met, always 3 steps ahead. I trusted her. Free access to come and go as she pleased. Magnus, lustful old fool. Now they have everything. ASAP Tech, Vault 110, the Engramtapes, Project Selene. All of it in the hands of Vault-Tec. Wait. No. The 5th Engramtape. That's still being compiled at CIT. If I act quickly, I can secure it. Maybe even augment it. And the tapes that were stolen, they'll need to be transported. Texas is a long way away. I should still have access to Vault-Tec's shipping network. All I need to do is scrabble every shipping address on their system. All right then, Madison. You want to play dirty? I'm game if you are.
Okay, so that's the moment where, yes, he knew Madison betrayed him. And this should be, yes, earlier, given it's marked number 3.
With the schematics so graciously provided by Braun, it seems my efforts to convert human cognition to something more digital are indeed possible. According to Stanislas's research, I believe the absence of my personality is the reason the Engramtapes refuse to function as they should. It's unfortunate that the tapes failed to duplicate my persona. I'm reluctant to subject myself to that torture device CIT call a mind scanner again. But needs must. And perhaps a 5th Engramtape will be enough to capture that indefinable quality that is Carl Stefan Magnusson.
Okay, hence the 5th tape maybe being the most important of all. The first of 4 captured, like, you know, his intellect, if you will. The 5th captured... I'm reluctant to use the word soul, but that's kind of where we're going with this, isn't it?
Ah, at long last we meet. I was beginning to think you'd gotten yourself lost.
Okay, so I need perception to spot he's a computer. Fascinating, though. Right. Robco. Similar technology to what's keeping Mr. House alive, so... okay. Are you in, like, you know, one of those Mr. House pods just in orbit right now, broadcasting to me from up there or something?
I can see where this is going.
What is this, Doc? Explain yourself.
There's no reason to obscure the truth any longer. I am Dr. Magnusson. But I am also the last Engramtape. What you see standing before you is what the Gunners and Vault-Tec have been searching for.
So yes, the 5th tape is like your personality or whatnot, which is what you are. So fine, I was right the first time. You're like, you know, a digital duplicate. Though the question does remain, is your body still alive up in that rocket you launched out of 110 or not?
What are you?
Make no mistake, I am Dr. Carl S. Magnusson, as much as you are yourself. I am a perfect duplication of the Doctor's personality and core memories. Everything that made him who he was is part of me. However, I am also technology, hardware and software. An AI would be the closest comparison, but lacks certain critical nuance. It is difficult to explain, but in essence, I am the Engramtape, currently loaded into this computer as much as I am Magnusson.
I do admire how well this integrates into the existing Fallout canon, by the way, which is, you know, the idea of a personality being so perfectly copied that the person in question, like, you know, the program you're speaking to, would be functionally indistinguishable from the original. Which is basically what, you know, synths are, like the 3rd gen synths in Fallout 4. That's precisely how copying and replacing people works. And the technology in front of me looks very similar to the technology in New Vegas, which makes sense because he worked at Robco, so... oh, this is all rather elegant, isn't it?
Well, it's good to meet you, Dr. Magnusson. Not in the way I expected, but still, it's an honor.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. I appreciate your courtesy. I'm sure all 3 of you have many questions. I took the liberty of recording some answers to topics I thought may interest you. You can find them on the terminal below my monitor.
Okay, he's just put together, you know, a little FAQ before I even got to him. Marvellous, though. Yes, before we get to those, my friend, what precisely do you want to happen now, given you're like a computer at the bottom of a ruin and whatnot?
What happens now?
Now, we bring everything to its conclusion. All that remains is for you to take the Engramtape. Simply remove it from its enclosure, and then keep it somewhere safe. Somewhere secure.
But if we do that, what happens to you? I mean, you are the Engramtape, right? Or at least part of you is?
Correct. Once you remove the tape, my read-only memory will be wiped. And I'll cease to be, I suppose. Can't say that I'm looking forward to it, but duty calls. I cannot put my well-being above the safety of others.
I see. So yes, his existence is tied to the threat of atomic rain being utilised, so... okay, you're basically, you know, making a noble sacrifice here, Magnusson.
What happens to you?
Think of the Engramtape as a slab of marble, engraved with the memories of Carl S. Magnusson, an unchanging monument to a great man's mind. When you remove the tape, these memories remain on the device, stored safely on magnetic ribbons. They are ROM, able to be read, but not altered. However, the individual you are currently conversing with, the Magnusson who was created when the tape was first loaded into this mainframe, I will be gone. I exist only as long as the Engramtape remains loaded into this computer.
Okay, but surely we could just, like, you know, build you a new computer. Like, we just built a supercomputer using the ASAMs. What if we just built a matching computer back in our headquarters? You could just come and live with us. That'd be lovely, Magnusson.
There must be something we can do to help you.
I gotta say, I agree. Dr. Magnusson, I don't care if you're a computer or tape, or if you don't even have all your memories. We can't just let you disappear. There's gotta be some way we could keep the Engramtape safe and still keep you around.
If you feel that strongly about it, then there is a way to do what you propose. But I warn you, it risks damage to the Engramtape. You may end up with no Magnusson and a tape full of useless data. It's possible, if my mainframe was kept powered and active, that both myself and the Engramtape could be transported to your headquarters. But this would be a monumental undertaking, not to mention risky. There are a myriad of things that could go wrong.
Oh, go on then. We'll give it a go, though... yes, how long are we talking?
When not active, an Engramtape is surprisingly durable. However, when in use, even the slightest jostle can cause a multitude of issues. Tape aside, the mainframe alone would require extensive preparation before even considering relocation. Never mind moving it while maintaining operation. We'd require continuous power. Processors would need external cooling, weather conditions closely monitored. Need I go on?
Maybe not now, but I will be requesting an extensive list of every possible issue. Trust us, Doc. I think we could pull this off.
Very well. If there was anyone who could do this, it would be you. I will begin the necessary preparations.
Don't you worry, Dr. Magnusson. By this point, I'm fairly familiar with your tech. We got this.
But, just in case things do not go according to plan, I would like to take this opportunity to offer you ownership of this lab. There is research here I believe you'll find useful. Consider it my recompense for all of your efforts.
Okay, so we finally get the reward he was dangling in front of us all this time.
I'll need to start isolating and locking down systems. Might as well begin right away. Oh, I almost forgot. In all the excitement, I didn't congratulate you on your victory in Quincy. You did a phenomenal job. I'm unsure if even the great Magnusson could have done better. I look forward to getting to know you better, Chief. Well, goodbye for now.
Alright, so the lad's turned himself off, but he did say a hangabout. There we go, Battle of Quincy, lovely. And alright, Jake's gonna stay here to make preparations, gotcha. And thus begins a victory lap, so, right, I get to return to headquarters and just say hi to everyone on the way past if I want to, though. Okay, before we do that, there is... It's a very precise area I need to be looking at, but there's definitely a console here. He promised me some answers to, like, you know, common questions, etc, etc, etc. Unfortunately, the console doesn't appear to be working. Okay, well, luckily we're turning him back on, so if we've got any follow-up questions, we can ask them back at base later. Lovely. Now, where's this reward he was mentioning? Just nip deeper into the lab and whatnot, and, oh dear. Better not just be a bigger laser. I've got plenty of bigger lasers already, Magnusson. That's no reward at all, dear flippin' dear. But yes, beyond that, there's just one terminal that gets me back out to, yes, the hallway where we ran into, you know, the gunners and LaMont and whatnot, so... I'm gonna be honest, Magnusson. I'm not sure what it was you just actually rewarded me with. So hopefully someone at headquarters will know. I'm gonna be honest though, the main person I want to speak to is Liberty Prime. Like, I want to shake Liberty Prime's hand, damn it. That man was amazing, so there we go. Probably can't actually thank a Liberty Prime personally. But you, Elder, you I am very happy I'm allied with. You did a good job.
How are you feeling about things?
When it comes to air superiority, there are few who can rival the Brotherhood. I'm happy to report our mission was a resounding success. It's provided a considerable boost to troop morale, and we anticipate an equivalent increase to our reputation with the locals.
Be proud. We've served the Brotherhood well this day.
Okay, sadly Elder Maxon, because yes, they're reusing a voice lines that exist in the base game. Can't say that much. But he's got Stevens here to speak for him, though, I'm gonna be honest, guys, the vertibirds didn't do much. You are really underplaying the role Liberty Prime had here today. Oh, here he is. Here's the real hero, right here. Sickle, my friend, you were right on the front line and you did amazing work by the sounds of it. Well done.
You holding up okay?
Sickle think good fun, yes. Crush gunmen. Help friends, yes.
I like you, Sickle. You're the best. So, I'm literally just walking home, saying hi to all of my allies, and... you know what? That feels deserved. Well done, Sim Settlements 2. You've been great. Kinda sad we can't, like, you know, say hi and thank the Assaultrons while we're walking past. You ladies did a magnificent work. Well done. And meanwhile, back at headquarters, right. Before we, like, you know, do too much more saying hi to people, shaking hands, etc, etc. I need a bloody good night's rest, okay? It's been a long bloody day. We've been having that fight for like 24 hours straight, give or take. There we go, rested, fed, watered, etc, etc. Feeling much better, so... okay. Next up we've got, yes, our lovely, lovely Lupe representing headquarters.
Is everything okay?
Oh. That really didn't go well for us. Most of the time, it just felt like we were in the way. Oh well. We did our best. Oh, I almost forgot. The comm array. We finally finished repairs. Everything should now be working the way it was before. Although...
okay, hang on. Well, one, Lupe, you're being very down a second ago, though, I mean, you're not wrong. The headquarters did let me down a bit on the old artillery front. Though really that was my fault for, like, you know, not bothering to recruit the Minutemen, because I forgot they existed. So I should have done that. That's on me. Yes, by the sounds of it, we've got a little bit more to do just yet.
after we turned everything back on, there was something strange. I think it has something to do with the array now being linked to that supercomputer at Olivia. It's like it's trying to make a connection to somewhere. I didn't know if it's meant to be doing that, so I just kind of ignored it. But really, you should check it out. Make sure it's okay.
Alright. So, yeah. The comm array is now trying to do something. Is this connected to Magnusson?
What a relief. I was hoping you'd connect with us. Would I be correct in assuming you hold the leadership position in your group?
Okay. Would this by any chance be Madison I'm speaking with right now? Like, in the end, that's where Madison ended up on the cooking moon or whatnot.
This is Madison St. James, CEO and leader of Vault-Tec. Greeting you from Luna Colony. A privilege to finally speak with you.
Right. Just out of interest, how are you, like, still breathing?
How did you make contact?
The process wasn't too difficult. Once we had bugged your array and you connected it to Olivia, it began syncing to the ASAMs we have here. While I could be wrong, I believe that was the array's original purpose. Then it was a straightforward process of setting up a two-way comms feed and patiently waiting for you to respond.
Okay. So, hang on. You sound very calm, given what Magnusson just did to you.
I'd hoped to make contact and attempt a peaceful resolution to our conflict. Regrettably, Magnusson took steps to ensure that couldn't happen. First, he caused significant damage to your array, and then orchestrated a communication blackout to seal the deal. The blackout may have passed, but so has our window of opportunity. The Engramtapes are beyond our reach, and Luna Colony has reached a critical point of no return.
Okay, bit of a twist at the end here, but not going to take Vault-Tec's side, because the Gunners were working for you. Like, they confirmed that. That wasn't just a story by Magnusson. And you had them do some really dodgy stuff, or bare minimum, were willing to look the other way while they did so. So, okay. What precisely have you guys been, yes, doing up on the moon this whole time? And does it match up with what Magnusson's been saying?
You might find the answer to that underwhelming. We never anticipated our tenure at Luna Colony to span more than a couple of decades. But after Magnusson ensured the loss of the Engramtapes, we were forced to resort to some creative measures to ensure our survival. In order to pass the long years, many of our high-ranking staff opted for extended periods of cryogenic suspension. Meanwhile, our scientists labored away, hoping to find a stable replacement to the lost tapes. Needless to say, they didn't succeed. With his usual dramatic flair, Magnusson had guaranteed our downfall.
Okay. So, he might have been, you know, a bit dramatic and petty about it, but you did kind of betray him. And yes, can you actually, like, prove any of this?
Let me ask you, how long did it take Magnusson to reveal who the Gunners were working for? How often did he withhold vital information? Why didn't he disclose to you that he wasn't the real Magnusson, but in fact, a technological copy? I'll tell you why. Because at the time, revealing these things didn't align with his agenda. That being the destruction of Vault-Tec. I'm genuinely sorry to say that Magnusson has been using you as a pawn.
And I'm genuinely sorry to say, I kind of already knew that. Like, it was pretty obvious he wanted to just utilize me. Honestly, I spent this entire time thinking he was secretly evil and was going to do a big evil laugh and betray me and nuke the headquarters or whatever. Like, okay, he slightly lied to me, but nowhere near as badly as I was expecting, and you've done much, much worse.
Please understand, I place no blame on you. Both of us have been fighting for survival, with less than honorable allies muddying the waters Who knows? Perhaps under different stars, it could have been you and Vault-Tec pitted against Magnusson and the Gunners. Sadly, that was not the case, and Luna Colony is nearing its end. Many will die, but a fortunate few, we will find refuge in cryosleep. I find some solace in knowing that, even in defeat, Magnusson won't see his wish fully realized. A part of Vault-Tec will persist. And if I can leave you with some parting advice, don't trust Magnusson.
I very much wasn't, but okay. Can a speech check fill me in on a bit more detail?
In light of your somewhat unique position, perhaps you are owed a more thorough explanation. Project Safehouse was indeed conceived to preserve human civilization. However, the version marketed to the public wasn't quite the full picture. Each vault represented a minor cog in the grand experiment, exploring how humanity might cope with certain challenging scenarios. Our intention was to collect and catalog this data so it could serve to guide us in the construction of off-world colonies. You see, Magnusson wasn't the only one with starward aspirations. But where our scientists hit a wall, Magnusson, with his ASAMs, broke through it.
And the nice thing is, that's pretty much, just more overtly stated than you get in the Fallout base games, pretty much canonically true. Everything that we get about, the Vault experiments from Fallout 2, New Vegas, Fallout 4, does back that that's what they were ultimately all about. It was about, Vault-Tec running experiments so the data might educate them as to how to best set up colonies when they did get out into space. So, okay, this game does fit really nicely alongside canon. This is very nice.
While possessed of an undeniable brilliance, Magnusson is still a creature of ego, and I suspect his Engramtape counterpart is no different. Initially, I have no doubt Magnusson will present himself as the ideal business partner. Intelligent, ambitious, driven, charming. But how long until he's weary of you? Maybe you'll fail to meet his resource demands, or lack the funding for his pet projects. And you've seen his reaction to Vault-Tec's control of Luna Colony. Do you sincerely think he has no issue with you owning the comm array? As I said, do not trust him.
Okay, but on the other hand, he lives in a very heavy box that can't be moved because if you jostle it a bit, he dies. So I'm not convinced he could really do that much to us, actually. I feel like, we do have an advantage if it comes to a conflict. And just to confirm, by the way, you did attempt to kill us. Like, you had your gunner agents murdering people a lot.
If Vault-Tec had gone through with their plan, this place would be wiped out.
It was a matter of survival. It was never personal.
Miss St. James, it's time. You should put this on.
Well, as pleasant as this has been, I'm afraid our conversation must come to an end. And from one leader to another.
Resident secure.
Please, keep in mind what we've talked about. At the very least, keep tight control of Magnusson. Assuming you have the ability.
Occupant vitals normal.
I wouldn't trust those cryopods, by the way. Pretty much everyone in our vault died. So, you know what? Fair enough. If Vault-Tec dies due to their own shoddy engineering, then that's on them.
Straight from the Brahmin's mouth. We won! Can't get more official than that. Oh, don't worry, everything's fine in Quincy. I just wanted to come check on you. So, now that that's all over with, how you feeling, Slick?
Alright, feel like yes, we've got a bright future though. In line with Madison's advice, yes, we should have put one security guard next to his giant box 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If he gets uppity, just rock it about a bit till he falls back in line.
I think there's nothing that can stand in our way to make this a better world.
Oh, hello.
And okay, we're fading to black because... Right, I think as the camera just goes straight up through the ceiling, that might officially be the end of Chapter 3, and thus, the end of Sim Settlements 2, and... I mean, quite right, putting the voice actors as top billing in the credits right there. This mod has some of the best voice acting I have ever seen in any mod. Like, this is right up there with the base game stuff. Sure, it's a tiny bit uneven in places, but still, a really, really impressive achievement to everyone on board. Even a relatively small part had some amazing voice acting going on. And I can't help but notice, yes, as we get further and further down, I have not heard of many of these characters, suggesting to me, yes, there's potentially a lot going on here in terms of tiny missions from unique settlers I didn't see over the course of this run. Like, there's a lot more here than even I was able to get to across 63 bloody parts. Fun fact, however, we're not quite cooking done yet. Here we go. We're now kicking off the epilogues where the heart is. So, Jake, my old friend, let's have a nice chat.
Hey, Slick. So, me, Caitlin, and Laura, we've been talking about what happened back in Sanford, everything that's been going on here. There were a lot of apologies from me, a few from Caitlin, and I think Laura snuck in a few sorrows too. And after much deliberation, we've all decided it would be best for everyone to stay here in the Commonwealth. From now on, I can see Laura whenever I want. And best of all, my kid finally has someone she can truly call home. As for me and Caitlin, after everything that's happened, we thought it'd be best if we just kept things professional. Still, it'll be nice to have her around.
Okay, so Jake gets everything he ever wanted, and crucially, yes, it sounds like after a long talk, Caitlin and Laura did kind of apologise to him too, because Jake was definitely not well treated during that whole incident years ago. So, yes, this all sounds like great news, Jake.
I also decided I'm gonna start shipping ASAMs down to Sanford. One of our staff said they wouldn't mind traveling down with a few crates, showing the folks there how to use them. And maybe one day I'll take a trip back there myself. See how they're getting on with things. But for the foreseeable future, I think I'll be staying right here. Still a lot of work for us to do in the Commonwealth.
Okay, it sounds like yes, Jake has rather nicely wrapped up all his previous problems there. Good job, Jake.
You've been my best friend, a role model, and a damn fine leader. I can't envision my life without having you around. And that's why I've decided to come join you in adventures. Keep an eye on you, make sure you don't get in any more trouble out there. That is, if you don't mind having me as a traveling companion, of course.
Okay, well, I think it's delightful you've now offered to, you know, be a proper full-time companion. I'm gonna be honest, I gain a lot of benefit out of the Lone Wanderer perk, so... you stay here, but, like, I'm sure we'll travel together in the future.
Your job is to stay here, not go gallivanting all around the Commonwealth.
All right, it's your call. But I'll keep it as an open invitation. If you'd ever like my company out there, just let me know. Anytime, night or day. Oh, and before I forget, I made you a little something too. A gift. Had some spare time with no more gunners to deal with. Here. I modeled it after my own. Although there are a number of differences. I hope you'll find it useful.
Alright, so we've got... oh! His special unique laser revolver, McGibble. Lovely.
It's a thoughtful gift. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Listen, I just want you to know, whatever the future has in store for us, I've got your back. No matter what. And I truly mean that. Anyway, I think that was everything I wanted to talk about, so I'll let you get going. I'll catch you later, Slick. Stay safe out there.
Alright, so now we... aha! choose where to send Caitlin. I mean, I would say the marina, but I'm gonna be honest, the marina's kind of like a military base at this point, so I'm not sure it's necessarily a good place to raise a child. So, okay, what's like the nicest settlement we've got? Honestly, it's probably the castle, because the castle's got a pizza shop. So okay, Caitlin and Laura could go live there. It's pretty nearby to you, Jake. Oh, yeah. That thing looks pretty bloody sexy, and 126s, and not bad damage either. Though tragically, yes, the only mod slot on it is material. So, you know what? As this was a present, and it is, you know, currently December and whatnot, I'm gonna wrap this thing in Christmas paper. So alright, just take that to the firing range we've got here. Okay. That's kind of badass, actually. I like that. And also, oh. You see it's a revolver. It appears to hold, you know, a lot of cocking ammo in one revolver cylinder. Like, whatever you call the thing that rotates in a revolver. Like, it's functionally just a never-ending by default. And the fire rate's pretty good too. That's not bad at all. Also, I did level up again, so, okay, just a bit more bloody mess, because yes, we're basically out of any way to increase my damage, like, at all. Like, we're very much maxed out at this point. There we go, up to 132, marvellous. And we're not cocky done yet.
Ah, there you are. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that our efforts to relocate Magnusson have finally borne fruit.
Okay, Cassandra tried to call me up there, but was slightly interrupted by the fact that we're being attacked by the Rust Devils at the same time, so... Okay, does anyone know where our army is? Because we had one of those recently, and now it just seems to be, gone at the moment, so... Well, this is all highly unfortunate.
Ah, there you are. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that our efforts to relocate Magnusson have finally borne fruit. Perhaps not fruit I'd care to eat, but still, progress is progress.
Okay, there we go, Rust Devils. Dead a second time's a charm. So, right. Magnusson, who we did say we were going to get back to headquarters, and despite what Madison said, we're still going to do that, yes.
Is something wrong?
Oh, pay it no mind. Just a doctor showing concern for a patient, nothing more. I thought you might like to be present when we flip the switch, so to speak. We'll be in the array room. Don't keep an old woman waiting now.
Well, I'm here.
And not a moment too soon. I was tempted to flip the switch without you. Oh, don't worry, I'm only teasing. I'm old enough to restrain myself. Barely. Besides, this is your big moment, not mine.
It's really not. Like, you guys carried that thing here. Like, really, I did nothing. I was just playing with my new gun down the road at the marina.
Now, as you can see, the relocation of Dr. Magnusson went off without a hitch. Well, actually, there were several hitches, but never mind that.
Once we got him here, we started connecting him to the comm array, so he'd have full access to the HQ. Now, we just need to wake him up.
Okay, that I'm not sure is a good idea. Like... Every system in the HQ includes, like, the automated defenses. And we did build giant lasers on the roof and put missile turrets at the front door. Are we certain about this?
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I don't know. I mean, that Vault-Tec lady did say we shouldn't trust him, but... Dr. Magnusson's our friend. He wouldn't do anything to hurt us. Right?
I understand your caution, but if he wanted to, the docs already have plenty of chance to screw us over. I think we could give him the benefit of the doubt.
We're undertaking this project by your instruction. If you're having a change of heart, now's the time to voice it.
Oh, go on then, turn him on, let's see if he turns evil.
Very well. Step aside. This'll just take a moment. Final connection... established.
Attention, duty engineer required.
The doctor should be with us shortly.
Chem labs.
It won't be long. Dr. Magnusson's computer and the comm array just need to finish syncing.
Do we need to stand back? You know, for safety?
I appreciate the caution, but I don't think that'll be necessary.
You don't think what will be necessary?
Ah, Doctor, it's nice to finally meet you in person, so to speak.
Well, what do we have here? This is your HQ, is it? It's a bit more cramped than I imagined.
Okay. Step 1, are you, like, okay? Because it sounds like we did jostle a few cables on the roads.
How are you feeling?
Not too shabby, all things considered. Nothing appears to have been damaged or corrupted during the whole process. Yes, I think I'm doing rather well, thank you.
Okay, so let's address the elephant on the moon. I just spoke to Vault-Tec, my friends.
Madison. I talked to her.
Madison? I see. Well, I suppose that answers the question of whether or not she made it up there. I don't suppose she mentioned me at all.
Actually, she did. She said that you damaged the array on purpose, and that you didn't tell us things. And that you'd been using us. She said we shouldn't trust you.
200 years and the woman's not changed one bit. So, divide and conquer, is it? Sow the seeds of distrust and hope they take root. You didn't buy her cock and bull story, did you? You must know that I'm on your side.
I really don't, but I'm gonna say I do, because I've still not received whatever this amazing super award you were mentioning was.
I believe you, but I still need answers.
Of course. Knowing Madison, I'm sure she spun quite the tale. If you have questions, I'll answer what I can. Go ahead.
That's good, because your FAQ terminal simply didn't work. That just sort of broke, so... okay. Did you actually, knowingly utilize us? Because if he's honest, he's gonna say yes. And I will respect and be fine with that, because I've been using him too to get to this technology that I still haven't actually seen.
I won't lie. At the outset, I did perceive you as more of a practical answer to a troubling dilemma. But as my consciousness fully awakened and I was able to actually think, I had already started to regard you as more of a teammate. Carl S. Magnusson does not use people. I'm not Robco, and I am certainly not Vault-Tec.
I mean, that's a fair answer. Like, basically, my relationship with Jake is the same. At the start, he saw me as a means to an end, and then we became friends, so I'm not gonna hold that against you, Magnusson, though, did you intentionally sabotage the array during the final fight so that we couldn't speak to Vault-Tec?
Was it an accident?
You mean the damage to the comm array? The answer is yes, and also no. I didn't want the array damaged, but I was aware of the potential. Regardless, I thought it was a gamble worth taking, and time has vindicated my belief. Whether or not you consider that accidental damage may simply be a question of semantics.
Okay, that's a bit of, a non-answer, but whatever, Magnusson.
Why didn't you tell me about yourself?
Try to see it from my perspective. You were largely an undefined variable. I had no way to deduce how you'd react upon realizing my true nature. However, with every interaction, my confidence in you grew. This is why I allowed you access to my lab. If that isn't a demonstration of trust, I don't know what is.
You know what? That was a good set of answers. I am satisfied with Magnusson. And if he does turn on me, I need to, go up against his robot army. That sounds fun too. So go on then, Magnusson. You can stay, my friends.
Don't worry. I'm convinced.
Splendid. Now, let's steer this conversation towards something a tad more optimistic, shall we? Before we proceed any further, I request a brief interlude to get all the sentimental drivel out of the way. I wish to express my gratitude to both of you and your extraordinarily talented team. You've safeguarded my work from falling into unsavory hands, protected the Commonwealth, and even made strides to conserve myself and my new memories. You truly embody the American ideals I fought so hard for all my natural life and beyond. And I eagerly anticipate collaborating with each one of you. Yes, well, that pretty much sums up all my thoughts on the matter.
I do like Magnusson. Magnusson's great. The writing and voice delivery are just both wonderful for him. So, okay, that's great. Let's get to the part where you gift me amazing super technology beyond my wildest dreams.
Okay, whatever. Let's get on with it.
You know, you occasionally remind me of myself. Brash, impetuous, and with no tolerance for squandered time. I suspect we'll get along just fine.
Pleasure to have you here, Doc. We're real grateful for everything you'll bring to the team.
Huh. We'll have to fashion a means for you to freely communicate with any individuals inside HQ. We really can't have you hijacking delicate systems anytime you fancy a chat.
Fair enough. In the meantime, I'll acclimatize myself to your protocols and procedures. Here's hoping this marks the beginning of a superb collaboration.
Alright, so Magnusson is now officially plugged in, and he's just great. I love him so much.
Magnusson here. When you've the time, I would like to speak with you, either by radio or, if you'd prefer, at the HQ. Whatever floats your boat.
Alright, Magnusson's got a bit of business he needs to take care of yet. Though, you know what, Magnusson? We're both busy people. How about we just, discuss this right now? As, for the time being at least, the Rust Devils aren't causing trouble straight in front of me.
I have time. Let's talk.
Well, I won't say no to a little expediency. Or perhaps curiosity has simply gotten the better of you. Either way, I have splendid news. It appears my mainframe is finally fully integrated into your HQ. Not to mention, I'll now be able to chit-chat if you've ever the desire. I can only imagine how pleased you must be to hear all of this.
He's such a bloody star.
That's great news.
That it is, my friend. That it is. Before I take my leave, one more thing. Whilst I never wish to be presumptuous, I have found individuals in your group prefer speaking with me face-to-face, as it were. They expend time and energy to visit and converse with my monitor, despite the fact we could speak from almost anywhere in the HQ.
Okay, just like we're doing right now on the radio, of course, Magnusson.
Understandable.
This has given me a number of ideas, but for now I will settle on suggesting just one of them. I propose a holographical projection system capable of displaying, amongst other things, a representation of my physical likeness. I believe installing a number of these projectors around the HQ may offer your people the more intimate exchanges with myself that they evidently desire.
So okay, Magnusson just kicked off... Is that more cocking Rust Devils? Right, Magnusson's just kicked off, yes, a handful more business right here in the HQ. And thus begins a power projection, though... okay, you guys need to stop attacking me. Like, constantly. Seriously, naff off, I have an army, this is where it lives, stop causing cocking trouble. Seriously, lads, I have got missile launchers right here. This was not a good idea. You are not going to do well. Though hilariously, yes, the engineering department is not quite as strong as it used to be. Because certain members of aforementioned department may have been murdered by me during the recent Battle of Quincy. So, okay, just need to do a tiny bit of, yes, staff shuffling about before we start this project. There we go, that's a bit better. So, right, you guys start researching that, lovely. And one tiny bit of research later. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I thought you were gonna be like, like blue and see-through and whatever. Like, the fact you're just a torso, but otherwise, yeah, just like, as you should be. albeit with a bit of a glow and maybe slightly larger than, like, human size. That's somewhat uncanny. I don't like that. Could you just be, like, blue and transparent and, like, you know, with graph lines over you and whatnot? I'd be more comfortable with that.
Well, what do you think? Not too shabby. The projectors seem to be functioning well within acceptable parameters. Anytime we speak, you can now have the pleasure of looking upon one of the world's greatest geniuses. Now, how may this genius be of assistance?
Okay, so, the inside of his mouth is, like, hollow or blue, but outside he's, like, flesh-coloured, so... Oh, I don't like this, Magnusson. This is weird. And this was not just so we could have, you know, a creepy, bloody Magnusson floating above all of our meetings. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Now, all of a sudden, we've just unlocked a new mission. The mission that will finally, if I understand this right, give me access to what Magnusson's been promising me this entire bloody time. Because, yes, to have a full personal control over Atomic Rain, we need all the Engramtapes, and do not forget, while we've got the 5th, like, the Gunners already had the first 4. Though to do that right, my poor understaffed military department needs some actual proper, you know, experienced soldiers inside it. Ah, you see, here we flipping go. A level 3 soldier, currently a guard with a minigun here in the marina. In fact, I remember you. You were like, you know, with me right at the start. I gave you the staggering minigun, so... okay, it's only fair that you get a promotion right here at the end of our adventure. There we go, toss a few veterans into the military department, and straight away, energy jumps up to, yes, 48, so... right, you guys now work in military intelligence, and your job is to track down the remaining Engramtapes. And there we go. With that project complete straight away, we get Chasing Memories 1. So, I could just, you know, use my own security team to go and track those down. I don't even need to do this myself, but... you know what? I just had a bit of an interesting idea. If the game wants me to walk the Commonwealth and going and picking up a handful of tapes, then that's what I'm gonna do. Because that right there feels like, you know, a wonderful opportunity to do a tour of every single settlement I've ever set up. We can, you know, check in on my friends at Spectacle Island, the pizza restaurant over at the castle, see what's going on way, way, way up at, hang on, Kingsport Lighthouse, though, someone's possibly taken Croup Manor off me, dear oh flipping dear. And when that's done, yes, we will finally have access to weapons of mass destruction that I can call down at will, and I think I know precisely who we can try those out on as well, given, as I mentioned previously, some of the factions I declared war on are gonna come back for a bit of revenge, but okay. It turns out there's a lot more post-gamer here than I was expecting, so we're going to extend this series to one additional episode to wrap things up, tour my civilization, and say goodbye to a wonderful, wonderful modern style by nuking the hell out of anyone stupid enough to still be working against me. So hopefully you join me for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Fallout 4. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Ah, we have got a gate key here, and then we have got... I've made a mistake, I've made a mistake, I've made a mistake, I've made a mistake! This is going to take all of my skill and cunning as a hunter to sort out... Die, you mooing bastards! Die! Die! Go away. Go away, nobody likes you. That was a good idea till it wasn't.